here's the problem. I've been playing Axie Infinity for 2 or 3 weeks, and I bought kind of a not really cheap set of Axies, but not really great set of Axies. And I was playing with it, got to maybe 1600 MMR, and then I felt stuck. And I watched a lot of YouTube videos, I looked for tutorials, and eventually I got to the realization that I didn't really make the best selection of Axies. But here's the problem. If you actually go for tutorials or guides that have, I don't know, suggestions of which Axies you should buy to get a really high MMR, they are either really, really, really unique, whereas like there's probably 2 or 3 in the market. The cheapest one costs 2 Ethereum, and that's like way too much money, at least for me. Or they are not really that good, okay? So what did I do? I actually opened Axie Zone. I looked at all of the, I guess, top 100, top 200 decks that were available, and I actually categorized them by price, which allowed me to find kind of cheap ones that were also available in the market, since I was looking for each one individually. And I'm here to share that with you guys. So yeah, here we have the spreadsheet. I know it's very ugly, but I actually made tons of discoveries. So first of all, these decks, they can be almost impossible to find because there's like only one Axie, or they can be actually kind of cheap. The problem is Ethereum increased in price by a lot. So if you go back in YouTube, you're gonna find videos with like, get to 2000 MMR with this 1500 USD deck. And at that time, maybe 1500 USD was maybe 0.7 Ethereum, 0.8 Ethereum, depending on the price there. But you can still get a really good deck for 0.6, 0.7 Ethereum. But in US dollars, that amount has increased significantly, unfortunately. Alright, so as you can see in the sheet, the cheapest one that I could ever find was a 0.61 Ethereum deck. It is a plant, beast, and a reptile. And I'm gonna show to you guys exactly what they are. So you have a pumpkin, Sirius, cactus, carrot plant with a very common beast with double nut throw, ivory stab, and single combat, and a reptile with snail shell, tiny turtle, lagging, and thorny caterpillar. And I mean, I was very surprised because this is not that different from some suggestions that I found. So I'm really happy that a deck like this could be that far up. Obviously, I'm not saying you're gonna buy this deck and buy this set of Axies and suddenly you're gonna be like incredible at it and you're just gonna climb MMR like crazy. But the potential is there, right? Someone was able to get there, and it is not super expensive, at least in Axie Infinity terms, if that means anything. So the second cheapest set of Axies I was able to find is a 0.63 Ethereum. And as you can see, this is a reptile aqua plant. So already lots of diversity. I'm pretty sure the 4 sets that I selected were different, which is actually pretty positive. I don't like metas and games where you only have one strategy. You have this reptile here with snail shell, tiny turtle, lagging, and thorny caterpillar. I think it's very important to mention one thing here. The ear and the eyes of an Axie, they don't really give you abilities, but they give you stats, and each type of Axie is going to benefit differently from each type of, depending, like if you're a reptile with an aqua part, it's going to be different than a reptile with, I don't know, a beast part. So it's not a coincidence that you see this reptile one having a plant part, for instance. So check these things before you buy an Axie. I'm not saying that buying the reptile with the sets, with the skill set that you have here, and I don't know, pure reptile or with other parts is gonna be bad, but there is definitely a reason this guy over here decided to get the plant part. Either BHP, and it's actually pretty complicated because some people would think that speed is always good, but in some strategies, with some Axies, you don't necessarily want to be fast. So I'm not saying, with a reptile, having a plant part is always better, but if you're copying something, try your best to understand why they're doing it. Obviously here I have 4 sets of Axies to show. I'm not gonna go over everything, and I don't even play some of these Axies. I don't really know exactly what is going on. I'm just making sure if like someone is using a pure Axie and you find one cheaper with impurities, that's probably because it's not as good when you go to PvP. If you have something like this where it is not pure, and someone at really high MMRs are using it, you can be sure there's a reason. But continuing, we have an Aqua here with Goldfish, Riskfish, Nemo, and Winghorn. This one is a pure one, at least pure besides the Winghorn, so both the ear and the eyes are Aqua. And finally, we have a plant with Cactus, Yam, Pumpkin series, pure plant. So yeah, there you go. This one going for about 0.63. Alright, now we have the third one, and interestingly enough, when I calculated the prices, it costed 0.71, and it's actually being sold for 0.64, which is a steal, right? So we have a double Aqua with a bird, alright? So the bird is a Cupid, Peacemaker, Kestrel, and Pulse Fight. This is actually the most expensive one out of the bunch. Then we have an Aqua that has double Anemone, I don't know how to pronounce that, Piranha and Nemo, with a Goldfish, Risky Fish, Babylonia, and Nemo Aqua. So that's really, really good. And actually the cheapest one out of everything, actually.